What's up, everybody? Welcome to the back of the bus. I'm Miss B, and I'm here to give you your quarantine crash course in teaching. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is routines. Keeping the same schedule is really important to kids. That consistency makes it really easy for them to know what to expect. So, giving them the closest schedule routine that you can is great. It's not always going to be perfect. I understand that. So the first thing you can do is check in with their regular teacher. Ask them to send you their normal schedule. And if you are able to, keep your schedule as close to theirs. If not, I would say make something work that fits what works for you. And plan around food, plan around other activities. If you have animals that you need to feed, make that part of your regular routine. I have one big thing that's a big part of my routine: coffee every morning. So if the kids get in the habit of understanding coffee is part of mommy's routine and juice is part of my routine, eating and then moving on to clearing the table, maybe it depends on where you're setting up. Um, and that kind of leads me right into the next thing is having a really nice workspace is important. Not having a lot of clutter is it's just a distraction to have anything else that's normally on the table. So if you're eating and teaching in the same space, making part of your routine clearing the space from eating and making it the space for learning. If you think about it, if you go, like when you go to read a book in bed, do you fall asleep pretty quick? Yeah, it's more than likely because your brain is trained to know that bed is the space for sleep. So your muscle memory is going to go right into sleep and you don't get through a page. Same thing with learning for the kids. If their muscle memory is eat at the table, they're just going to want to eat every time they sit down and constantly ask for a snack. But if you make it part of your routine to say only have the placemats, like if you have placemats, put them out when you're eating and then have the kids take the placemats off and put them somewhere else in preparation to learn. Another great thing that you can do in addition to that, if you don't have placemats, that's fine. Have something on the table, a fruit bowl, something that they need to take off that's food related, and then put on something like your pen holder or a small box of crayons to remind them that this is now the space for learning. So getting into the habits of simple things like that can really, really be beneficial to help with that transition. Transition periods are the absolute hardest time for all teachers. It's really challenging for anybody. So remember that, take a deep breath beforehand, and move on with amnesia. Just keep going. That's one of the greatest lessons I learned from ENVoY training. I'll put links down below for anything that I share. Another great thing that I like to do, very first thing after you transitioning, it's school time, then move into check-in. Have each person, including yourself, share where they're at. Did I sleep well? Am I still hungry? I have an ouchie. I'm feeling bad about my math, or I'm feeling great about my math, or I feel like I did a great job yesterday with my spelling. My sentences are really improving. No matter what it is for them, having that moment to say something, to share, and for you to know where they're at, because there may be something that you're completely unaware of. But it's not a time to complain about siblings or to say tattling or anything like this. So setting the framework of like, we're going to have circle. You can sit in a circle on the floor, or you can just sit at the table. However you want to add it in, whatever works for you, figure it out and take the time to prep with them and say, I want to have this moment to share. So a quick, less than 1 minute, 30 seconds. You can do one word, however you want to prep it for them, and say, we're each going to take a turn to share. So something that's really great to facilitate that is a talking piece. Now, you can choose anything to be a talking piece, but don't pick something that they already play with. It's not a toy. The talking piece is something that must be respected, and whoever holds the talking piece it's their turn to share. So I use this koosh ball, and my students know when I come in the classroom, if I take the koosh ball out, they get to throw it around the room to pick who's sharing next. And it's one of those, so they want to throw it, right? That's like incentive. So they all get quiet. And then everybody can listen. And it's something fun for them to play with. It's soothing. It's soothing for them to hold and to play with. So it's also a motivator for them because they want their turn. They want to be able to play with it. You can make it anything, but just make sure that or you can even make one of your own. Get a stick from outside and wrap some twine around it and add colorful things or anything that you want. Just make sure that it's something they don't already play with or don't already use. And preface. You have to explain it to them the way I just explained it to you. Talking pieces are great. You can popcorn, pass them around. That's always fun. You can pass them around in a circle so you know where we're at. And then set it aside and keep it in a neutral space. One great thing that I really like to remember to share is that you can always offer silence. If you don't want to share and you have nothing to share, you can just pass it, and that's okay too. Check in the beginning and then check out at the end of the day is a really great way to transition into school. Even before you move the placemats, do check in, move the placemats, get school set up, and then at the end of the day, you can check out. And it's a really good way to close and transition into the rest of the day so you don't feel like your school day kind of runs into the rest of the day. So if you have that isolated period of time with check-in and check-out, you really feel that closure and you really feel a solid school day all cohesive together. Another thing that you can do to set up this space for you to learn and it's a good activity to do with them one morning just for fun. It gives them a way of creating something that's their own. You can make a little name tag. Just take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and have them color. Just draw something. What's their favorite animal? Who's their favorite baseball player? Whatever it may be, that they want to make it their own. And then as you're getting into your school day, you can have them take out their name tags and put it up. And then it's a reminder to them that this is my space, I'm in school. For middle grades, you can have them when they're learning times tables, you can have them put on the back, have them glue their times tables on the back. Or if they're in algebra, they can be writing their formulas. So the process of writing is a memory enhancer. So having them copy that down onto their name tag, it'll be a really beneficial activity for multiple fronts. So this isn't something that I'm saying make sure they do it every day, but as you're transitioning to the homeschool, it's a great way of giving them reminders that this is their space to learn. And then after the transition from breakfast to school becomes easier and more routine, then this can fall away if it's too much to have like an extra added thing in your day. This is a cool trick that you may or may not already use. So if you have a dry erase marker, you probably have some glass somewhere in the house. So you can do this on a window. You can do this on stainless steel, so it could work on the side of your refrigerator. You could get an old picture frame and do it with an old picture frame. But don't leave it on. Don't leave the dry eraser on there for too long because it will stick for longer. If you wipe it off in a reasonable amount of time, you won't get that stain that gets on there. You can use Kleenex wipes. I don't know if you want to waste your sanitizer wipes, but you can use those to clean them off too. So you can write on glass. So don't worry about having a whiteboard. Now it's hard to see because I didn't put a piece of white paper behind there, but if I put white paper behind this, it would work really well. You'd be able to see that really well. Okay, so what's a great first activity to do with your kids in the morning? Each age group, a little bit different. If you have younger kids, kindergarten, preschool, through even second grade, is starting with just the calendar. So getting them to know what yesterday, today, and tomorrow are really, really important, and something that some kids struggle with. This is something that you can make on your own. It doesn't have to be super complex. I added a little color. I made every day of the week, and so they can go through and pick out today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. Again, not perfect, but it gets the job done. So that's a great first thing for your little ones to do. The middle schoolers, having them journal is a great place to start. Having a book like this, I got it from Walmart for, and then I added my stickers. I got it from Walmart for like less than $5, and it has all of the days of the week. So what the younger kids already do at school is go through, and today is March 27th. And so if you get a blank one of these, or if you make a blank one, again, you can use the dry erase old picture frame with the piece of glass with the, and then you can add the lines underneath it, and then have your kid fill in what day of the week it is. Helps them with counting. Kindergarten through third grade, have them count their numbers right after this. This journal is great because it has blank pages like this, and it gives you room to write. So for middle schoolers, having a prompt, getting them to journal, to write a little bit every day, practices all of their punctuation, grammar, sentence skills, and it gives you an understanding of what's going on for them, and gets them to share, gets them to be able to express themselves, their ideas, their emotions. There's so many different ways you can go with this, but getting to journal every single day, and this is a great amount of space for a younger, third, fourth grader, fifth. Once you get up into middle school, you may want them to be writing a little bit more. So having a specific notebook for them to write every day. Maybe you want one that has room for them to draw or color as well, depending on their age group. But you can Google prompts. Just type in writing prompts and get them to write 2-3 sentences. That's a great morning activity for middle grades. It's just a nice way to transition into school. And then for your high schoolers, something that I absolutely love that I recommend to adults is something that I was introduced to by Tim Ferriss. I'll put a link in below to Tim Ferriss's 5-minute journal. So this is something that's great to teach about goals, getting kids to be goal oriented. The goal can be the same for a week, for a month. It could be a very long-term goal. It could be a short-term goal. And you could talk to your kids about these things. 3 things that I can do today to help achieve my goal, whether it is academic related, athletic related, it doesn't matter what it is, but getting them to identify things that they can do today to reach this goal. The gratefuls are so important. It's a great way to introduce positivity and gratitude into your life, which transitions into just a whole well-being that is phenomenal. So if you're having a hard time with what's happening right now, this is something that I recommend for you as a parent to be doing. Every adult could do this to help them with what's happening right now with the COVID crisis. So this is just a little breakdown of the 5-minute journal. I'm going to link it below. It's amazing. Tim Ferriss is great. So the 3 gratefuls, and then so you have this at the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the day, you write down the 3 things that you could have improved for the day. I procrastinated. I didn't achieve one of my 3 goals because I got distracted, or I allowed social media to take up more time than I should have, or whatever it may be. But positive critiques, things that you can improve, always keeping it in a positive light instead of being, oh, I'm bad at this or I'm bad at that. We don't want that kind of wording in here. You want to make sure that you're saying things that you could have done better, tangible things that will help you improve tomorrow. So if you keep doing this every single morning with your high schoolers, that is a phenomenal way. Do check-in and then move into calendar and journaling time, and then transition into the coursework that you have for the day. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have any other questions, and stay safe out there. Make good choices.